about that Weatherford College Jazz Band? What do y'all think about these guys? They sound great. Cal Lewiston and the guys, thank you very much. We're about ready to get started with our program today. What a beautiful day, right? We're so thankful. It's a great day, and we're so thankful that so many of you guys are here. And we're going to start with that Weatherford College Jazz Band with our national anthem. Guys? Get back here on the back row. Thank you to the Weatherford College Jazz Band. Fantastic job. We do have some seats down here up front if some of y'all would like to take advantage of that. Welcome to a very special occasion. This is the dedication of the Speaker Jim Wright Library. This is not a new building. This is a rededication in honor of an incredible alumnus of Weatherford College. Now, you students standing out there, for those of you that have spent time in the library, here you are celebrating today. To the rest of you, this is called a library. So, afterwards, we'll show you all around and show you how to use it. Okay, I'm just kidding. I have a few introductions to make, and then we can't get everybody. There are so many people here that have been just so important to Weatherford College. But I will introduce Dr. Kevin Eaton, our president, here in just a minute, and he'll introduce our current board of trustees. I want to thank Mayor Dennis Hooks for being here today. We're going to hear from him in a few moments. Yeah, you can give him a hand if you'd like. Up at the front here, we are very pleased to have Speaker Wright's daughter, Ginger Wright McGuire, and her husband, Scott McGuire. Thank you so much for making it here. A dear friend of Jim Wright, I want to thank Jamie Botiford Brinkley for all she's done to keep his memory alive. Jamie, thank you for being here as well. We're really honored to have Speaker Wright's administrative assistant here in the green, Norma Richardson. Thank you for being here, Norma. And something we're very proud of, we have 3 folks that went to school with Jim Wright at Weatherford College. Now, the campus wasn't here at the time. It was down the street a little bit on South Main. And many of y'all remember that. As a matter of fact, how many of y'all remember Old Main? All right, there you go. Well, I'd like to introduce, from the class of 1942, Mildred Beard, Wilda Summer, and David Robinson. Thank y'all for being here. Dr. Eaton's going to introduce our board in a moment. I do recognize some former board members that are in the audience, and I don't know who all is here, but I know that I saw Roger Brizard, Lynn Bearden, Pat Hamilton, Betty Jo Graber, Dave Dyson. Have I missed anybody else that's a former board member of Weatherford College? Thank you for your service. Please give them a hand. And now the president of Weatherford College, Dr. Kevin Eaton.
Brent hid my notes. He's known for doing that. I'd like to thank all of you for being here today. We are honored to have Jim Wright's name on our library. This dedication ceremony has been long coming, and I just want to thank you for joining us for this celebration today. I'd first like to recognize our current Board of Trustees members that are present. Mr. Frank Martin. and Mr. Max Smith. I would also like to recognize the other board members that are not here but are currently serving on the board. We have Dr. Luke Haynes, Mr. Joel Watson, Dr. Trev Dixon, and Miss Elaine Carter. So we appreciate everything those board members do for Weatherford College. I want to talk a little bit about Jim Wright. I'm certain that those of you that met him will remember that he always spoke highly of Weatherford College. Anytime you had an interaction with him and you talked about education, he would always bring up Weatherford College. He was a strong supporter of everything we do here, and I just want to talk a little bit about his time at Weatherford College. Jim attended Weatherford College from 1939 to 1941. He served as the editor of the Coyote, which was the Weatherford College newspaper. He was also on the debate team. He also served during that time in the drama club. He was a cheerleader at Weatherford College as well. Jim graduated from Weatherford College in 1941 and was later recognized as a Weatherford College alum and received the honor of the Distinguished Alumnus Award. During World War II, Jim earned the Distinguished Flying Cross for flying combat missions while a bombardier on a B-24 Liberator. He was a second lieutenant at the time. He was elected to the Texas House of Representatives in 1946 at the age of 23. I look around this audience right now and I think, when we were 23, what were we doing? We certainly weren't in the House. So that is very impressive. He served until 1949 in the Texas House. Then he was elected mayor of Weatherford from 1950 to 1954. He was still a very young mayor at that time. In 1954, he was elected to the United States House of Representatives, and he represented the Texas 12th District. He served 17 terms in the United States House of Representatives, which is 34 years. 34 years in one job is a long time for anyone. That is very impressive. He was also elected Speaker of the House, which is the highest position you can hold, in 1987. He left the House in 1989. He was a very active member after leaving the House in 1989. He also taught adjunct at TCU. He was always very proud to call himself a Weatherford College alum, and we are extremely proud that he was proud of that. Jim passed away on May the 6th of this year at the age of 92. He was buried in Weatherford. At this time, would you join me in welcoming Mr. Dennis Hooks, who is our current mayor, to talk about our former mayor.
You know, it's an honor, always an honor to be associated with anything with the Jim Wright family. I have a proclamation today. It simply visits the same accolades that were just spoken. His history, the honor that he's spoken on this college and on this town. I appreciate the past board and the present board of what they've done for this college and the honor that they bestowed on Mr. Wright for this library. I've watched this college grow from '81 until now. It's amazing what y'all have done. It's a great job. Oldest college in the state, is it not? Okay, oldest college west of the Mississippi River. So it's a great honor to be here and have the library named after him. My proclamation simply states the same thing we just spoke about. So I'd like to announce today, proclaim the date that October 1st, 2015, Speaker Jim Wright Library Day in the city of Weatherford. And I'll ask all of our citizens to honor his memory and his right. Thanks for having me. Thanks y'all for being here, and thank y'all for having a great college. We appreciate you so much.
Thank you for that, Dennis. We really appreciate your support, you being here. We also have representatives from Phil King's office here as well today, and from Kay Granger's office. And as a matter of fact, Claren Ganifke, one of our alums from Kay Granger's office, has handed a flag to me that flew over the U.S. Capitol building in honor of Jim Wright. I want to thank her for bringing that, and for Kay for making that happen as well. Very nice. I'd like to invite the chairman of the Board of Trustees of Weatherford College to the stage, Mr. Frank Martin.
Thank you. I find it interesting that even as we're having a ceremony, the library continues to be used. At this time, I'd like to ask Jamie Botiford Brinkley and Ginger Wright McGuire to come up, please, next to the plaque. And with all due honor, please unveil the plaque. And I would like to this time I'll read to you what is on the plaque. James Claude Wright Jr. graduated from WC in 1941. After earning the Distinguished Flying Cross in World War II, Wright was elected to the Texas House of Representatives in 1946 at the age of 23. He served as mayor of Weatherford from 1950 to 1954. Wright was elected to the U.S. House of Representatives in 1954, where he served for the next 34 years. He was elected Majority Leader in 1977 and Speaker of the House in 1987. He helped facilitate peace in the Middle East and Central America, advocated for veterans, and brought economic development home to his district. His lasting influence on the region is immeasurable. His plaque is dedicated 2015. Thank you, Jim Wright.
This isn't part of the program, but we asked Ginger if she would like to say something on behalf of the family. Would you mind?
I would love to. How touching. It's an honor for me to be here and an honor to be able to see this library with Dad's name on it. He loved books. He loved Weatherford. And back in the 1950s, when we would drive back and forth, Congress would adjourn, believe it or not, in the end of summer, and they would stay adjourned for the rest of the year, and they'd actually live with people they represented. It was a nice concept. But we would drive back from Washington, in June or July, and we'd start school here in Weatherford, and we were very early elementary school then. And we would see as we were driving into Weatherford, we would see the courthouse, and we would say, oh, finally we're in Texas. So it's an honor. I know it's an honor for him, and thank you very much.
That was a good idea, Jamie. Thank you for suggesting that. Matter of fact, a lot of this, Jamie, that you brought the idea forward, along with Roger Grizzard. Is Roger still here? Yeah. Roger, you really asked for this as well. Thank you. We're going to close here in just a moment with something special, but I do want to say some very special thanks to those that made today happen. And before I do that, I want to encourage you to please, when we're done here and in just a couple of minutes, to go inside the library and look around. And actually, if you go in this door all the way to the back, there is a brand new refurbished area that we call the Adjunct Corner, and that is decorated with Jim Wright memorabilia. Some of that memorabilia will be permanent. Some of it we've borrowed for today. So please go back there. There's also some refreshments back there as well, and you can look around the library. You'll also notice that the portraits of all of our past alumni of the year, which I see a lot of you guys here in attendance today. You'll see the portraits of our presidents. You'll see a lot of history of Weatherford College, but be sure to go back there and look at the memorabilia and the artifacts from Speaker Wright. I want to thank TCU and the Mary Counts Burnett Library. They've loaned several items for today. Also want to thank the Doss Heritage and Culture Center for loaning us items today. Sue Cody loaned us items as well, and Jamie Botiford Brinkley loaned us items as well. And our WC folks want to thank our jazz band, our library staff, advancement staff, Johnson Controls, and the police department for what they did to make today happen. We're going to close with something kind of different. Jim Wright, his last speech on the House floor. He made this speech May 31st, 1989. Now, the speech was 61 minutes long, so we're not going to play the whole speech. But we took a couple of sound bites from that speech, and I thought it'd be fitting for us to end today actually hearing the voice of Jim Wright from May 31st, 1989. It's about 2 minutes long.
For 34 years, I have had the great privilege to be a member of this institution. I never cease to be thankful to the people of the 12th District of Texas for their friendship and their understanding and their partiality toward me. 18 times they have voted to permit me the grand privilege of representing them here in this repository of the democratic principles. My colleagues, Democrats and Republicans, I owe a great deal to you. You have given me the greatest gift within your power to give. To be the Speaker of the United States House of Representatives is the grandest opportunity that can come to any lawmaker anywhere in the Western world. And fame is a vapor, popularity an accident. Riches take wings. Those who cheer today may curse tomorrow. Only one thing endures: character. I'm not a bitter man. I'm not going to be. I'm a lucky man. God has given me the privilege of serving in this greatest institution on earth for a great many years. God bless this institution. God bless the United States.
Are you glad you came today? We're glad you came too. Please enjoy yourselves. Please see the library, and thank you for being here at Weatherford College. Thank you.